What if I told you that the fate of the most powerful nation on earth was already written in the stars? What if every headline you read, every crisis you witness, every moment of chaos unfolding across the United States was predicted years ago by someone the world tried to ignore? The air around you might feel normal right now, ordinary even, but beyond the comfort of your walls, something ancient is stirring. Something that knows the future like you know your own name. And what it reveals about Donald Trump in America will leave you breathless. Listen closely. Can you hear it? That faint whisper riding on the edge of silence. It is the sound of destiny turning its gears, clicking into place, moving inexorably toward a moment that will define generations. The clocks on your wall are not just measuring time. They are counting down to something massive, something unavoidable, something that has been set in motion long before you were born. And at the center of this cosmic storm stands one man, Donald Trump. Love him, hate him, fear him, worship him. None of that matters anymore, because his story is no longer his alone. It belongs to prophecy now. There is a woman who sees beyond the veil of ordinary perception. Her name carries weight in the shadows, in the places where believers gather and skeptics whisper nervously. Mhoni vidente, the psychic whose predictions have echoed through time with disturbing accuracy. She does not deal in vague statements or safe predictions. Her words cut deep, precise as surgical blades, revealing futures that make people uncomfortable. And when she speaks of Donald Trump and the United States, her voice trembles with urgency, with warning, with the weight of knowledge that others refuse to accept. Picture the White House on a cold winter morning. Frost covers the windows. Inside, decisions are being made that will ripple across oceans and continents. Trump sits in power once more, returned to the throne as Mhoni predicted he would. But his victory, she warned, would not bring the peace his followers hoped for. Instead, it would crack open something that had been sealed, a door that should have remained closed, and through that door, chaos would pour like water through a broken dam. The visions come to Mhoni in fragments, in flashes of light and shadow that piece together like a terrible puzzle. She sees the eagle, America's proud symbol, wounded and not bleeding. Its wings are torn, one pointing east, the other west, pulling in opposite directions until the creature threatens to rip itself apart. She sees cities burning, not from war, but from something worse, internal collapse. The enemy is not at the gates. The enemy is already inside, has been inside for years, feeding on division and hatred until the nation's immune system begins attacking itself. And Trump stands at the epicenter, not as a savior, not as a villain, but as a catalyst, the match that lights the fuse. Mhoni sees his face aged beyond his years, stress carved into every line, eyes that have seen too much and still refuse to look away. She speaks of illness, shadowing him, a mysterious affliction that doctors cannot fully explain. Something that weakens him gradually, stealing his strength even as he projects power to the world. The prophecy echoes older warnings from other seers who spoke of leaders falling at the height of their reign. Think about it. Really think. Have you noticed how the world seems to accelerate when Trump is involved? How events move faster? How tensions rise quicker? How the impossible becomes routine? Mhoni says this is not coincidence. It is synchronicity. The universe itself is responding to his presence, to the role he plays in the grand design. Whether he knows it or not, whether he accepts it or not, he has become a focal point for energies that most people cannot perceive, forces that operate beyond politics, beyond personality. In realms where karma and destiny dance their eternal dance, the predictions grow darker as they unfold. Mhoni speaks of dates burned into her consciousness. The year 2026 appears again and again, glowing with ominous significance. She describes visions of economic devastation, the mighty dollar crumbling like sand between desperate fingers, markets crashing not once but multiple times, each fall deeper than the last. People who thought themselves secure, discovering that their security was an illusion, a house of cards built on decades of denial and debt. And when the cards fall, they will bury millions beneath them. She sees Trump making decisions that seem logical in the moment, but carry consequences no one anticipates. Tariffs that spark trade wars which escalate into something worse. Alliances shattered by words spoken in anger or arrogance. Treaties torn apart because compromise feels like weakness. Each action creates ripples that become waves, that become tsunamis by the time they crash upon distant shores. And America, once the stabilizing force of the global order, becomes the source of instability itself. But here is where the prophecy turns truly chilling. Mhoni does not see Trump as acting alone. She speaks of shadows behind the throne, of advisors who whisper poison disguised as wisdom. Some of these shadows have names you would recognize. Others operate in such secrecy that their existence is debated even in intelligence circles. They have agendas that transcend one presidency, one nation, one lifetime. They are playing a game with rules written in blood and symbols that predate modern civilization. And Trump, for all his power, is merely a piece on their board. The visions show betrayal coming from unexpected quarters. Someone close to Trump, someone he trusts implicitly, will turn against him. This betrayal will not be public initially. It will happen in whispers, in documents leaked to the right people at the right time, in testimony given behind closed doors. The betrayer believes they are saving the nation from disaster. But Mhoni warns that this act of perceived heroism will only accelerate the chaos, pushing events into a spiral that no one can control. What does this mean for you? Yes, you, listening to these words, wherever you are right now. You might think you are safe, that these prophecies concern only Americans, only the political elite, only people whose lives play out on television screens. But Mhoni's visions make clear that when America trembles, the whole world shakes. Your job, your savings, your family's future, all of it is connected to the fate of that distant eagle and the man who seeks to command it. The butterfly effect is not theory, it is reality. And the butterfly is about to flap its wings. She sees natural disasters increasing in frequency and severity. Not random acts of nature, but responses to imbalance. The earth itself reacting to the disharmony flowing from human consciousness. Floods that swallow neighborhoods whole. Fires that turn forests into ash. Deserts and leap from wilderness to suburbs without warning. Earthquakes in places that never trembled before. And hurricanes, tornadoes, storms so powerful they seem to carry intent, as if nature itself has decided that humanity needs to be reminded of its place. Trump will face these crises while simultaneously battling enemies on all sides. Mhoni sees him aged and weary, his famous energy flagging, his voice still defiant but hollow underneath. The weight of leadership during catastrophe crushes even the strongest man. She questions whether he possesses the wisdom to navigate what is coming. His instincts are for confrontation, for dominance, for winning at any cost. But the challenges ahead require cooperation, humility, sacrifice. Can a lion learn to be a lamb when the moment demands it? The prophecy speaks of war, not yet, not immediately, but looming on the horizon like storm clouds that grow darker by the day. Mhoni sees military movements, alliances shifting, old enemies sensing weakness and opportunity. China makes its calculations regarding Taiwan. Russia pushes further into territories it considers historically its own. Iran, North Korea, other actors on the world stage, all watching America's internal struggles and wondering if the time has come to act. And Trump, forced to respond with a nation divided behind him, unable to project the unified strength that once made adversaries think twice. She describes a vision of young soldiers, barely more than children, putting on uniforms they never expected to wear in combat. Their faces show confusion, fear, disbelief that it has come to this. Their parents watch them leave, holding back tears, remembering their own youth when war seemed like something from history books, not something that claimed their children. And the political leaders who sent them speak of honor and necessity, and protecting the homeland, but their words ring hollow to families who just want their loved ones to come home. The economic collapse, Mhoni predicts, is not sudden like a heart attack, but gradual like cancer. It starts small, with unemployment rising in specific sectors, then spreads, businesses closing, banks tightening credit, people who never missed a payment suddenly choosing between mortgage and food. The government tries to intervene, printing money, offering bailouts, extending deadlines, but the measures prove inadequate. The debt has grown too large, the system has become too fragile, and when confidence evaporates, when people stop believing in the stability of their institutions, everything can unravel with terrifying speed. Trump will be blamed, fairly or unfairly. History will point to decisions made during his administration as contributing factors to the collapse. His supporters will defend him fiercely, arguing that he inherited a broken system and did his best to fix it. His detractors will say he made everything worse, that his policies accelerated America's decline. The truth, Mhoni suggests, lies somewhere in between. He is neither the sole villain nor the tragic hero. He is a man caught in currents far stronger than any individual, struggling to stay afloat while the water rises around him. But prophecy is not just about doom. There are always choices, always moments where the path can change. Mhoni speaks of a great awakening that could emerge from the crisis. People stripped of their illusions, their distractions, their comfortable numbness, might finally see clearly. They might recognize that the divisions between them were manufactured, maintained by those who profit from conflict. She sees communities coming together in ways they have not for generations. Neighbors helping neighbors, strangers becoming allies, old wounds beginning to heal. This awakening requires sacrifice. It requires people to put down their phones, turn off their televisions, and talk to each other. Really talk, really listen, not to win arguments, but to find understanding. Mhoni's visions show circles of people gathering, sharing food, sharing stories, rediscovering the bonds of humanity that technology and ideology have tried to sever. She sees gardens growing in vacant lots, barter systems replacing currency. When money fails, skills thought obsolete becoming valuable again. Survival forcing adaptation, forcing evolution. Trump's role in this potential awakening remains unclear, even to Mhoni. She sees multiple timelines, branching possibilities depending on choices not yet made. In some visions, he becomes an unexpected catalyst for unity, his downfall so complete that it shocks the nation into recognizing its own complicity. In others, he clings to power through increasingly authoritarian means, forcing Americans to choose between security and freedom, between the comfort of control and the chaos of liberty. Both paths lead to transformation, but the cost differs dramatically. There is a specific moment Mhoni describes with particular intensity. Trump stands alone, perhaps in the Oval Office, perhaps somewhere else. The phones are ringing, but he does not answer them. Advisors are shouting beyond a closed door, but he does not open it. He is utterly alone with a decision that cannot be delayed any longer. The weight of hundreds of millions of lives presses down on his shoulders. In that moment, she sees his hands trembling. She sees tears, possibly the first genuine tears he has shed in decades. And she sees him reaching for something he abandoned long ago. Not political calculation, not business instinct. Something deeper. Faith, perhaps, or humility, or acceptance that some things are beyond his control. What happens next? Mhoni cannot see with certainty. The vision ends at the point of decision, leaving the outcome suspended in quantum possibility. Perhaps this is the universe's way of showing us that nothing is predetermined, that even prophecy leaves room for free will, that every choice matters, no matter how small, no matter who makes it. Trump's choice in that moment could alter the timeline for everyone. But so could yours. So could mine. We are all connected in this web of cause and effect, all participants in the unfolding drama, whether we realize it or not. The final warnings Mhoni delivers carry the weight of urgency. Time is running out, she says. The window for peaceful transformation is closing. By the end of 2026, perhaps sooner, the trajectory will be set. Either humanity learns the lessons this crisis is teaching, or it repeats the cycles that have destroyed civilizations before. The choice is not Trump's alone. It is collective. It is yours, right now, today, in how you treat the people around you, in what you choose to believe, in whether you let fear drive you or courage guide you. She speaks of hidden knowledge that will be revealed in the coming months. Secrets that powerful people have kept for decades will spill into public consciousness. Some revelations will shock. Others will merely confirm what many suspected but could not prove. Documents will be leaked. Whistleblowers will come forward. The machinery that maintains illusion will break down, and people will be forced to see reality without filters. This process will be painful. Truth often is, but it is necessary, because only by seeing clearly can we choose wisely. Mhoni sees symbols appearing in unexpected places, numbers that repeat in ways that defy statistical probability. Dreams that millions of people share without knowing others dream the same thing. A collective unconscious rising to the surface, trying to communicate something that language cannot capture. These are not random occurrences. They are the universe speaking in the only language available to it, trying to wake up a species that has been sleepwalking toward catastrophe. And Trump remains central to it all. Not because he is special in some cosmic sense, but because he is the right person in the right place at the right time to serve as a mirror. America looks at him and sees itself reflected. The good, the bad, the ugly, the proud, the fearful, the hopeful, the divided. He is the walking embodiment of the nation's contradictions, and the fate that befalls him will parallel the fate that befalls the country. If he falls, America falls. If he transforms, America transforms. The connection is not metaphorical. It is literal, mystical. Written in the stars and the cards and the visions of those who can see beyond the ordinary. The prophecy does not offer easy comfort. It does not promise that everything will be okay if you just have faith or think positive thoughts. The challenges ahead are real, material, dangerous. People will suffer. Some will not survive what is coming. But Mhoni also insists that this is not the end. It is a transition, a painful birth. And what emerges on the other side has the potential to be better than what came before. If we are brave enough, if we are wise enough, if we remember that we are all in this together, no matter what the dividers try to tell us, the eagle will fall, she says. But from that fall, new wings can grow. The question is not whether change is coming. Change is already here, unfolding in real time, visible to anyone willing to look. The question is what form that change will take. Evolution or devolution, or devolution. Unity or fragmentation. A future where humanity learns from its mistakes, or one where it repeats them until there is nothing left to repeat. Trump is one variable in this equation. You are another. So am I. So is every person listening to these words right now. My final message is both warning and invitation. She urges people to prepare, not just materially with food and supplies, though that is wise, but spiritually and emotionally, to strengthen the bonds with loved ones, to forgive old grudges before it is too late, to find meaning beyond possessions and status. Because when the systems we depend on become unreliable, all we truly have is each other. The coming storms will test us in ways we cannot imagine, but they will also reveal who we truly are beneath the masks we wear for society. The visions are complete. The warnings have been spoken. The prophecy stands before you like a road sign pointing to a sharp curve ahead. You can heed it or ignore it. You can share this knowledge or keep it to yourself. You can prepare or pretend everything is fine, but you cannot stop what is coming. None of us can. The only choice we have is how we respond when it arrives. Donald Trump and the United States stand at the edge of transformation. The old order is dying whether we admit it or not. And in that space between what was and what will be, everything is possible. Terror and wonder exist simultaneously, separated only by perspective. Mhoni vidente has shown us glimpses of both. Dark visions of collapse and suffering. Bright visions of awakening and renewal. Which future manifests depends on choices being made right now, in this moment, by people who have no idea how much power they actually hold. The universe is watching. History is recording, and prophecy is patient because it knows that eventually everything comes true. The only question is when, and whether we will be ready when it does. Share this message with those who need to hear it, not to spread fear, but to spread awareness, because knowledge is the first step toward wisdom. And wisdom is the only thing that might save us from the fate that Mhoni vidente has seen written in the stars. The time for sleep is over. The time for action is now. Wake up, look around, and choose wisely. Everything depends on it.